So I'm out under the darkest skies in the world. We've got the Milky Way stretching all the way from the north, all the way overhead to the southern horizon. But can we catch it with the camera we have in our pockets? Well, there are actually a few settings built into the smartphones that allow you to take awesome pictures of the night sky. So what I'm going to do in this video is talk you through those steps so that you too can take pictures with your phone, with the camera you have in your pocket, of the night sky. So it doesn't matter what phone you have, whether you have an iPhone, a Samsung, or whatever phone you have, the techniques will work no matter what phone you use. Now, because I'm cheap, I've got an iPhone 14, but any of these later models of iPhone, they have this same night long exposure mode. And if you have a Samsung phone, they also have the Pro mode that allows you to take manual control of the camera. And if we do that, that's what allows us to take these long exposures, these pictures that bring out all the details, all the features within the core of the Milky Way. So the first thing we're going to need is to get a camera tripod and get one of these smartphone holders. These go on the top here. Now on the iPhone, you can only enter the long exposure mode if the camera is held perfectly still. If you're hand holding, it won't let you do the long exposure. You must have a tripod mounted. Now, of course, if you haven't got a tripod, you can just prop it up against a book or something else, something to hold it in the right place. But whatever you choose, you've got to have your camera perfectly still. So I put the phone in. One of the other things I did learn was make sure you don't press the volume button down on the clamp, otherwise it makes an emergency call. So make sure your volume buttons are well clear of the clamp. And then what we need to do is go into the photo mode, click on the access button. There is what looks like a moon, which is the night mode. If we click on that, slide it all the way to the end, it lets us do a 30-second picture. If I was hand holding this, it would limit me to about 10 seconds. And of course, whatever phone you're using, you want to be in a 30-second mode. Now, if I do this, it's just a picture of the night sky. So what I'm actually going to do is relocate. I've got the telescope here. I'm going to put the telescope in the foreground. So the other thing to note is that the phones will naturally compress the image that we capture, naturally compress that down. But of course, we want a high resolution image. So on the iPhone, you want to go to the camera settings and set it up so that you have raw mode. This gives us an uncompressed, or as near as we can get to on an iPhone, an uncompressed image. Press our long exposure, 30 seconds, put it on raw. So I've got a raw image, 30 seconds, tripod mounted. I've got something in the foreground. Maybe just line up a little bit. There we go. Now the other thing to note as well, if I press my finger onto the phone, we're going to get a bit of image sake. So what I'm going to do is put a timer on, a self timer, and that gives it time for all the vibrations to damp down. It also gives me enough time to come and stand and look at the telescope. Right, so there's that. So we're on a 30-second, press the timer, and we'll give ourselves 5 seconds. Oh, that's looking good. Oh, I like that. Let's take one in portrait mode as well. Right, keep my fingers crossed that is okay. Oh, look at that. So now we've taken our snaps with me standing by the telescope. What we're going to do is take 10 30-second exposures of the Milky Way, literally one after the other. We're then going to use a free piece of software called Sequator. I think it's called Sequator, and then it allows us to stack those one on top of the other. So I've put all the photos we took, I've taken all the iPhone snaps, I've put them in this folder. Let's have a look at the portraits. There's a there's a blurry one of me. Obviously, didn't stand still enough. Slightly better one. And I think when we switch to the portrait mode, those pictures look really good. I quite like those. And again, this is just with the iPhone camera. It's an iPhone 14. It's not a modern camera, but I think they've come out really well. I love the fact that it's a portrait with a telescope with me and that the core of the Milky Way. So not the sharpest picture, but certainly good enough. Right, let's have a look at the actual Milky Way shots themselves. So if you remember, these were the 30 seconds on the tripod, so they're nice and stable. Oh look, we've got either a satellite or an aircraft crossing the field of view. And you can see that the stars have moved as I skip through each one. Oh gosh, more satellites, more aircraft. I think actually it's probably a satellite. So you can see there we've caught the details in the Milky Way. We've got the dust lanes, we've got the star clouds, we've got some of the nebulosity. We've also, annoyingly, got some satellites as well. And you can see as I skip through, we've actually got image rotation as well. That's why you don't want to be doing more than 30 seconds. Any more than 30 seconds, we'll get loads of star trails as the night sky sets, as the stars move across the sky. Oh gosh, loads of satellites in this one. So what we'll do then, if I zoom in to 100%, you can see that the images are quite grainy. We've got this sort of chalky texture, sort of salt and pepper texture, and that's simply because of the noise in the image. Now what we can do is we can improve that by stacking, say 4 or 5 of the best shots, one on top of the other. So the beauty of this, of course, is that the signal strength will build up, that noise averages out, and by stacking 4 images we actually get root 4, so that's twice the signal to noise ratio. So let's have a look then, let's find the best one. So that's got the satellite in, that looks good, so I give that one a little heart. That's good. That's also good. And what I want to say, 4 or 5 that don't have a satellite in. So yeah, now we're getting satellites, they've all got satellites in. So what I'll do then, I'll just stack those 4, one on top of the other. And the program we're going to use is called Sequator. So let's open up Sequator then. Let's load up our star images. And it was the first 4 we want to use. Open those. Let's output. Stack of 4. Save. So we want to set this to select the best pixels, and I just leave it on the middle ground. So I'm telling it to align on the stars. We're telling it to only select the best pixels, so it ignore any faint satellites or any aircraft crossing the field of view. And we can hit start. So I leave everything else in the off position. I don't use any of the software processing in Sequator itself. So let's have a look at our image. And if we go to 100%, what we do have now is a much sort of smoother, still a bit grainy, still a bit granular. You can actually see that now is much smoother than we had before. We've still got some satellite trails in there. Very faint ones, we couldn't see these with the eye. So zooming back to fit on the screen, that's not looking too bad. I think that's actually upside down. There we go. Oh, that looks good like that actually. Now one of the things you can notice is that we've got the vignette, the lens, the restriction of the lens. So what we'll do then, I'll open this up in Affinity. Now I changed from using Photoshop. I got fed up of having to pay this bloody monthly subscription that Photoshop charges. I now use Affinity and really like it. It has so much functionality. It's as good as Photoshop, I would argue. And for my hobby level, for my amateur enthusiasm, this works great. And I haven't had to pay the monthly subscription charges that Adobe charges. And what I will do, I'll go into the develop persona, come to the lens down here, remove lens vignette. I think I will reduce that down. There we go. So that's removed the lens vignette, and you can see that's brightened up the outer areas. So you can see there, then we've got that wonderful dust lane, all those details. I can't believe that's captured with a relatively old iPhone, sitting on a camera tripod just under the night sky. Now, of course, this was taken from a really dark sky site. There was no moon, we had no light pollution being out here in Africa. So that does make a real difference. So do let us know how you get on, how you find with your smartphone photography. Put that in the comments below. And as always, I wish you clear and steady skies.